Let's hit the high road. Let's hit the high road. It's the first touch, strong connection. It lays deep in your soul. Feel the kindness strongly coming. 'Cause you can achieve your goal. Let's hit the high road. Let's hit the high road.
Hi, this is Nancy Yearold, and welcome to Nancy's Psychic View on the high road to humanity. And we are so fortunate today. Noll James is here today. Easy for me to say. And Rachel, welcome to the high road.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'm excited you're here. You guys, this is something we don't usually do. I'm always interviewing authors or down on the border or something like that. But today we're going to talk about a new movie that's coming out, and it's called Ingress. And I'm just going to preface this with letting you know it's about a woman who can move between parallel realities. She loses her husband tragically, and she must overcome past trauma to travel the multiverse once again and find her way into a reality where he's still alive. And, Rachel, talk a little bit about this. We're going to show the trailer, you guys, of the movie, but talk about this movie. I want to know how this came into being because I know about jumping timelines. So tell us your story.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So I grew up in Santa Fe, and as you know, Santa Fe has a very rich metaphysical community. So I grew up with access to spiritual channels, to astrologers and tarot, and through my mom. And then my dad was a physicist, so I also had this whole side of like the quantum physics universe and the holographic universe, and I read a lot of those books. So
Cool.
I was really interested to explore kind of the concepts that you see in a lot of sci-fi movies in terms of parallel realities, but I wanted to ground it in some of the more metaphysical experiences and introductions that I'd had throughout my life, including the channel. There's a woman who I actually have been speaking with for a number of years who's a channel. And a lot of the content that has come through those sessions with her was kind of the fodder for this script. And there's a character in the script who's a channel, and this entity that he channels called Lucas. A lot of what Lucas is bringing forth is directly pulled from my sessions with this woman.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, I will tell you, if you don't know this, I channel Archangel Gabriel, and he left me a message for humanity, and I may read it at the end of the show, just so everybody, but they're on my website. And yeah, and I want to say this, just so you know this, and I'm sure you do, everyone can channel. It's just a matter of connecting. And I write down what he tells me. And how did she channel? Is that what she did as well? Did she write it, or did she speak it, or how did that work?
She speaks it. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Now, tell us about the movie. So how did this all come about where you said, okay, this story needs to be told?
So I'm a filmmaker, and a writer director. I've been working for a number of years. This is the first film that I have directed, and I moved up to the Pacific Northwest somewhat recently in the last 6 years, just before COVID. And the whole environment up here of kind of the misty, wintry, watery, foresty energy, it really sparked my imagination in terms of this script that I'd been percolating on for a while. For me, it's really an exploration. It's an exploration of kind of what is reality and how can we soften our relationship with our expectations to allow for more magic in a way. And it's also an exploration of grief and loss, and it's an exploration of mental health and kind of what it means to be normal, and kind of these things we all come up against in terms of trusting in our own reality and trusting in our own perceptions over maybe the judgments, the opinions, the fears of the other people in our lives. So I think it covers a lot of ground, and it's been interesting in some of our initial screenings, private screenings. It tends to hit people in different ways depending on their reference point. So there's a woman who is very passionate about, grief counseling. And so for her, the message of the film was very much tied in with that. There was another woman who had a sister who was schizophrenic, and she came away going, I have new tools to engage with this person in my life and meet them where they're at in their reality. So what I love about it is I think it kind of opens a doorway for people to engage and to bring forth and come in into connection with kind of whatever is most relevant for them to take away
Right.
from it.
Right. Well, let's talk a little bit about this, about jumping timelines, because I want you to know that I've jumped timelines, meaning not even meaning to. And I know you may have too, and that's why maybe you brought this to the forefront. But I will just say it happened to me once. I was in the bathroom and then I realized I wasn't where I thought I was, and how did I get here? And some of the things were different. And I think what's happening right now, as we raise our vibration, like items will be missing because maybe you were in that timeline when you had that item. And then when you jump to the next timeline, it's gone. And until you go back to that timeline, you can't find that item. Now, that has happened to me personally. And it's because we're raising our vibration. And as we jump timelines, we're going back and forth. What do you know about this?
For me, it's nothing as definitive as that, but I've wondered about it because it's something that, again, and this woman I've spoken to, the channel, entity, they talk a lot about that parallel realities and how we're doing it all the time. And so I started thinking about those moments, kind of to your point, like when you're walking down the street in your neighborhood and like there's a house there that you've never seen before. And your brain will very quickly be like, well, it must just be me and I don't remember it. But like, what if it really wasn't there last time I walked down the street because it was a different parallel? Or like when you're talking to a friend and they're like, I told you this yesterday, and you absolutely do not remember them telling you that. So just starting to open up again the possibility of like, well, maybe I forgot, or what if I didn't,
Well, and I think that's why this movie is so interesting. First of all, I just want to say it does have a lot to do with death, and haven't watched the movie, and I can't wait to see it. And let me just ask you this, because I'm thinking about this: when will it actually come out that I can go to the theater, other than Santa Fe on January 25th to go see it? You guys, if you're watching me, go to Santa Fe and see this. It's what time is it going to be showing, by the way?
So this week it's showing in Santa Fe at 7 p.m. on Thursday, the 25th. And then
Okay.
it's going to have 6 screenings at the Guild Cinema in Albuquerque,
Okay.
starting Tuesday, the 23rd. I will have a listing of all the show times up on our website, which I'll send you the link after this so you can share it out. And then
Okay.
we will be out on streaming, hopefully within the next couple of months, so people can watch it from home as well on, various streaming platforms.
Okay, yeah, because I want to see this movie. I really do. I mean, and let me just continue with my thought there. As far as the death of her husband, I haven't seen the movie, but I could imagine somebody realizing they could jump timelines, time travel. It's kind of the same thing, and trying to go back and be with that person. I mean, that's something that somebody would really do. And where did that concept come from? Is that something that was channeled, or how did that come about?
In a way, I kind of feel like all writing is channeling. I don't know if you feel this way, but it's
I
like
do. I
I
do.
feel like half the time I don't even know where stories and ideas come from, but I just they come through me. But this was kind of loosely based on not a death, but just an experience I went through in some previous relationships before I met my husband, where I was with someone that I thought I was going to marry, and I met someone else while I was in this relationship, and it was this very shocking moment where I realized, oh my gosh, this relationship I've been in, I am not myself. And it's kind of that like, so this, it's an exploration of like, of yes, the initial grief and wanting to get back with the husband, but then ultimately the realization that like, it's a closure story. It's not about getting back together with him. And I think that's something that we all process, right? Is like the
Closure.
grief and loss of a relationship, even when it's not the right one, and moving forward.
Yeah, I can attest to that. I agree with you completely. So after this showing in Albuquerque, then where will the film go?
So yes, we've got these 2 screenings in New Mexico. At the end of February, we will be in Glendale, California, at the Lemley Theater in Glendale for a week.
Okay.
And then we're going to have 5 different showings in and around the Seattle area, on Bainbridge Island, in Kingston, in Bremerton, in Seattle. And I'll list all those times. We're still sorting out all of the details of those exact timings, but we'll be in 10 screens total. And then after that, we will be on streaming. And as soon as I have information about where, I will let you know.
Now, is it possible that like, Paramount or Fox or, Netflix or somebody will pick this up? Because I got to say something to you. This is the perfect time for this movie. I mean, it really is, Rachel. I mean, people are waking up. I can tell you, I mean, I have people, I'm not the only person, because I asked one of my teachers, one of my, spiritual friends, hey, I feel like I'm jumping timelines. And she's like, yeah, I'm jumping timelines too. So this is something that's really happening right now, that I think
Yeah.
is going to really grab the interest of people. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I think anything's possible. We're gonna go, reach out to everyone and just see. I also believe that things go where they're meant to go. And so I think, we'll make the offering, and wherever this is meant to find its home, that's where it'll find its home. And whoever's meant to find it, that's where they'll find it. Um,
Yeah.
but I
Yeah.
agree. I think that, in previous years, a story like this would probably be something that Gaia would show and everyone would say was kind of fringy, but I think it's changing. And I do think there's more appetite for people who are wanting more conscious content and wanting to feel something and experience something and have something, that has them talking and thinking after they leave the theater, not just munching popcorn and then going about their lives,
Yeah. Right. Something that has a little substance. And this has a lot of substance. How long is the movie? Can I ask that?
Yeah, it's just under 2 hours.
Okay. All right. Fantastic. And how are the reviews? What have people said so far, other than you did mention that you had a couple of people talk about, grief and that. Other than that, um, anything else you want to share before we get out of here today?
Sure. We've had so far, a couple of formal reviews from indie reviewers, and both were incredibly positive. One in particular was just absolutely lovely. It seemed like he really got it. He got the depth of the film and kind of its message, and that was really wonderful. And then it's just been a lot of audience reviews so far, which again, the constant theme has been this movie really made me think. Like
Yeah.
me and my wife went out to drinks afterwards, and we talked and talked, and we went over all the like possibilities of what did this mean and what did this mean, and I thought about this thing that happened to me, and to
Yeah.
me that's the best feedback I can possibly get, right? If people are still thinking about it after they leave.
No, and I thought about it a lot, and I'm really glad you came on today. You guys, the movie is called Ingress, and this is Rachel Noll James. And Rachel, thank you for coming on. Congratulations. I will tell you, congratulations. Thank you, because we need this right now. Humanity really needs this right now. We really do. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, you guys. Listen, I am going to be in LA next month, February the 8th. Actually, I'll be there, LAX Hilton. I'll be at the Conscious Life Expo. I will be doing a workshop on angel communication and spiritual law. Come and get your wings, you guys. Come and see me. It'll be Saturday evening, the 10th. I'm going to put all of Rachel's information, and I'm going to put the link to the trailer so you can watch the trailer and check this movie out. If you're in the Albuquerque or Santa Fe area, make sure you go see it. If you need an angel reading, go check it out on my website. Oh, before I go, guys, I have a message from Archangel Gabriel, and I'm just going to read it real quick. So sit back and relax real quick. And this was channeled on January the 19th. And he says, Dear Nancy, hello from Spirit. The love is flowing more and more in your world. I see compassion returning as the alternative is unacceptable to your people. Truths are coming to the light, and people are changing their views. The veil is thinning between the worlds as love comes back into your lives. When you arrived, you brought the love with you and kept it locked in your heart and soul. And it's time to open the heart and the soul and let the love flow. As more hearts open, the world will shift for you. This is all for now. Love, Gabriel. And that's your message. I hope everybody has a fabulous day, and God bless.
Hold your head high, the world is coming. Watch the colors lift your soul. Connect the dots and keep the motion. Can achieve your goal. Let's hit the high road.